Say that equation again.
Achievement is equal to motivation times intelligence. That's on Wikipedia. But I want to add times work.
And Wikipedia is a good source. But what do you guys think? Achievement equals motivation plus times intelligence. Motivation times intelligence.
One more thing, which is work.
Right. Effort. Do you
Well,
think that?
I'd go back to passion and tenacity. I guess you could equate being tenacious as hardworking. Passion is not necessarily intelligence. I'm probably the least intelligent person in this room, but I always had a lot of smart people around me. So I think it's, and I will say one thing about wanting to be a millionaire. I don't think that should be your goal. You won't reach it if that's your goal. Your goal should be to do the very best job you can do, meeting or exceeding your customers' needs and expectations. If you do that, the money is a byproduct of it, and the success comes with it.
I think you had the right idea. Add effort. Add effort to your equation.
And the second question is, since we're here to learn how to start our own business, can you sum it down to 3 easy steps?
Besides LegalZoom, Steve, three steps.
Yes, never give up, never give up, never give up. In that order.
Brett, what are your 3 easy steps to start a business? Brett.
Oh, me? Yeah, I mean, never give up's pretty good. And we'll start in the first place, too.
Right.
It seems to be pretty important.
And Zach, what about you? 3 easy steps to start a business?
I got to agree with Steve. I would just say it's got to be something that you're passionate about, and just follow your heart, you know, and never give up. So follow your heart and never give up.
Brian?
I can't add anything to that.
You can't argue with that, all right. On the left.
I've actually got a question from our webcast audience. It's what's the best way of meeting angels or venture capitalists?
Brian, what's the best way of meeting you?
Coming to events like this, or just usually in each region there's some kind of a group that kind of tries to do that. And in Orange County, it's Octane. In San Diego Venture Group. And these sites have a lot of information. There's a National Venture Capital Association, which has links to probably most of the venture funds. Angel networks, Tech Coast Angels and Keiretsu Forum are really and I think there's Band of Angels. Those are some of the big groups down here. You know, you can find them online.
Guys, anyone else want to? Okay, great. To the right. Does anyone want to comment on how to meet VCs or angel investors?
I think Brian's suggestions are very good.
To the right?
I can't believe it. I came here and I said, that's the man who has a statue in front of Mihaylo Hall. I finally saw him in real person. Yeah. Well, I gave up on a business idea yesterday, and by coming here, it got born again. And I'm really thankful for that. But I was thinking, I have a competitor after looking online. I was wondering if you have any motivation to get past those that one powerful competitor, those powerful competitors, and to not be intimidated that they have a better product or they have a bigger share of the market. And is there any motivation you can give me?
What advice would you give for him to keep motivated, even though there's larger competitors out there in the sea?
Well, you know, here again, if you do it by bootstrapping it, starvation is a great motivator. You know, I'm serious. If your ability to get up and, you know, make a payroll, if you've got too much invested up front, and usually the people that invest are friends, family, it's the 3 F's, right? Friends, family, and fools. However, if you invest in yourself, save your money, bootstrap the operation, nail it, and make a success on a small basis where it can be scaled, then you go to outside investors. But you just won't have the same appreciation if you get all this money up front and, you know, it comes too easy. I think the best motivator is a little bit of stress, you know, not being, having to work hard for it.
Right. Yeah, we heard from Zach earlier how he had to, you know, he got a second on your house.
Yeah,
and as Steve said, that is definitely some motivation so that you don't lose your home. Let's go over to the left.
Right.
And never give up. Words of Stephen G. Mihaylo, I want you to just remember that. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening. My name is Aaron Aslan.
I'm sorry?
My name is Aaron Aslan. Thank you, Boris. And my question is very simple. From starting your business, the very beginning, how much of your success in the future is planning and how much of it is doing?
Brett, what do you think? How much is planning and how much is doing?
I would definitely lean toward doing. I mean, you have to be adaptable. Things are going to change. You know, getting your hands dirty as quick as possible and seeing out what the realities on the ground are. You're going to plan as you go. I mean, you're going to react and you're going to realize what needs to be done next. And sitting around trying to plan it all out beforehand is just going to waste your time.
Zach, how much is planning, how much is doing?
Got to agree here with Brett. And I think I've been in those points too. And even as you run a business and you continue to plan, sometimes it's just writing it on a napkin and just moving forward because you can sit there and spin your wheels. Obviously, that you got to pick what's important to look at to see what the reporting that you want to base your business on. But you can spin your wheels quite a bit if you stay too much in that planning mode.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks again for coming. Stephen, earlier you said something. You said there's no product or service that can't be improved on, which I definitely agree with that. But in today's economy, there's so many giants and so many mega companies. How would you say, and Brian may be able to touch a little bit on this as well, how can you just jump in that the market if there's some markets it seems like starting up small may not be enough. What advice would you have for that?
So sort of like the question before, I was a little intimidated by the competition out there. What advice when you just know that these behemoths are out there?
In my case, I competed against what was known as Ma Bell, the old AT&T before it was broken up in the 80s. At the time, they had 1 million employees. They were the largest company in the world. And every single person I went to and said, I think they're vulnerable, told me I was nuts. So I believed in myself. I knew I could do a better job. Big companies are not always efficient. They don't have the passion. A lot of the people are just drawing a paycheck. They just get there at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning and they go home at 5. They don't think about their customers at the end of the day. Now, that's not to say all employees are like that, but the bigger the company, unless they've got strong leadership, and AT&T was almost institutionalized at that point. They had an absolute monopoly. They had 97% of the telecommunications service in the United States in 1969. So, in my opinion, they were vulnerable, and as it turned out, they were. But a lot of companies failed trying to beat them at their own game. I think I was a little more passionate and certainly a lot more tenacious.
Right. Brian, what about you? You have any companies in your portfolio that are competing with the bigs?
Absolutely. I think you have to be, and this is a trait we look for, you have to have that attitude that you are going to be able to take on, Google or, AT&T or whoever. If you're not, you're probably not going to have a business that is competing in a multi-billion-dollar market because there's going to be a big company there. So I think it echoes what
right.
Steve was saying.
And remember, Facebook was nothing when MySpace was huge.
So. Boris, there's one thing I'd like to add, and this is something that Brian said. it really helps to either have a good board of directors or a good advisory board. People that are much older than you are. You know, if you're 25, look for people that are 45 or 50 that have been there and done that. You can avoid an awful lot of pitfalls.
Ma'am?
Hi, my name's Krista. I'm actually a communications major. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for coming. My question is, when you were a young company and even today, how did you motivate your employees to believe in your values and your mission?
Steve, how did you motivate your employees? Besides stock.
I think the very best way to motivate people is by really being interested in them. One of the ways I did it, I attended every single wedding, baby christening, and at the end it was a lot because we had over 2,000 employees. I was probably attending a wedding at least once every 10 days. I sent out birthday cards with a handwritten message to all 2,100 of our employees every single year. I did it for 38 years. If you care about your employees, they're going to care about you. A friend of mine used to say, well, the speed of the boss is the speed of the troops. If you're laid back and you're not willing to go the extra mile, nobody else will.
Zack, how do you keep your employees motivated?
I don't know if I can say it better than Steve here, but it's I think them seeing how passionate I am and how much I care about them, and it is about them, and the reason that we're doing this is that, and that we've been able to grow is because I have a team that helps me achieve this vision. You know, I couldn't do it alone. When I sat in my home office, it was me. I had a good idea, but the people who carry that out daily are our team members who I value so much, and I mean, they know they can call me 2 in the morning. I mean, it's that personal relationship. Obviously, I don't have 2,100 employees, so that would be pretty tough at that, but I definitely hope to keep building and doing that same sort of thing as we continue to grow. I did want to say something on the last comment, though. I think there is something big about, when you think about your competitors and you think about these big companies that you're up against, yeah, you've got to have a competitive differentiation, but you have to know how to sell it, and you have to know, you have to believe in it, because we've been up against huge agencies. It's 33,000 agencies in the country. I mean, it's kind of silly when you start to think about the competition that we have, but I do believe that we have something unique and different, and our clients believe it after I talk to them. So you have to believe in it first, and I think if you're really honest about it, but make sure you're doing your research too. If everybody else is saying the exact same thing, it's probably not going to do you a whole lot of good.
Great question. Thank you. To the right.
Hello, my name is Cameron Madad, and my question is education important? And if so, how can budget cuts affect how we start our own business?
Is education important, first of all?
Absolutely. I equate education to getting the tools. But even after you have the tools, it takes experience or on-the-job training to really understand how to use those tools. Somebody was asking me today, what's the best degree to get in business? Well, it turned out for me that a degree in accounting was very important because I understood how the financial aspects of a business work. But after that, I've gotten an honorary degree from Cal State Fullerton, but I've gotten many, many PhDs from the School of Hard Knocks. There's no substitute for experience. Will Rogers had a great saying. People would ask him how you get good judgment, and he'd say, well, you get good judgment through experience. And then they'd say, well, how do you get experience? And he'd say, by having bad judgment.
And what was the second part of your question? You said with the budget cuts?
How can budget cuts to our education affect the way we start our own business?
Will the budget cuts to this education